Okay, so this time the A value is greater than 1. So as soon as you write this down, you need to look for a GCF. You got to train your brain to look for a GCF, a greatest common factor. There's not one in here. There's not a greatest common factor, but you always need to start looking. There's not, though. So if there's not a GCF, I'm still drawing an X. I'm still putting -5 at the top. Oh, I did mess up. Dang it. Will you please cross out the 24 and write a 6? I'm so sorry. Your problem should say 4x squared minus 5x minus 6. I'm really sorry. Did y'all fix it? Okay. I needed 24. Y'all, what's 4 times the -6? What's 4 times the -6? That goes at the bottom. So A times C goes at the bottom. Your B value goes at the top. A times C at the bottom. Your B value at the top. And then now it's a puzzle. Now I need numbers that multiply together to make a 24. Well, 4 times a -6, we just did that. 2 times 12, 1 times 24. What else is there that makes a 24? What else?
8 times 3.
8 times 3, yes. Now guys, look, is there any way you can mess around with these numbers to make it turn into a -5? Which ones? The 8 and the 3. The 8 and the 3. That's going to be the magic set that we need. So put an 8 and a 3, but which one has to be negative? The 8. So -8 plus a +3 is a -5, and a -8 and a +3 multiply down to a -24. On the next line of my work, I don't draw parentheses. Let me write it first. I'm going to recopy this first number, 4x squared. I'm going to recopy this last number way over here at the -6. And then, y'all, what's a -5 and a +3 make again? When I combine those, what is that? A -5. A -8 and a +3 make a -5. So I'm not writing this B term. I'm writing these sideways numbers like this. That's a plus. So remember, that makes a -5. It's the same value. I didn't change the value of that expression. It's still the same. Any questions on what I did there? Okay, here's where the 2 highlighters come in. Now it's just a GCF problem. So look, with one of your highlighters, box in the first 2. With your other highlighter, box in the last 2. Okay, what I highlighted in yellow, is there anything I could take out of both of these terms? Anything? What do they both have?
1.
They both have a 1. Do they both have a letter? I can take an X out of both of these. So look, I'm going to write an X right here. And right next to it, I'm going to write the remainder from what I highlighted in yellow. So if that's 4x squared and I took a single x away from that term, then that leaves 4x. That's it. This second term, that's plus 3x. If I took an x out, that's just going to be a plus 3. Look, y'all, if I distribute that back, I'd go back to that. All I did was take out that x. Let's look at the next one. Don't write this down. Watch me. Put your pens down. Don't write this down. So, what can I take out of these 2? Say what? I'm sorry, y'all. I can't hear. A 2. Hang on the negative. 2. They're both even. Any numbers that are even, you take out a 2. Don't write this down. And I'll show you why. Oh yeah, and they both didn't have an x, so it's just a 2. Y'all, what's a negative 8x divided by 2? Mm-hmm. And then what's a negative 6 divided by positive 2? A negative 3, right? It's a negative 3. Okay. This is why I factor like this. I made a mistake. I know I made a mistake because those are not the same. They look the same, but they have to have the same exact signs. So if that's a negative 4 and that's a positive 4, what can I do to this to make it look like that? Factor out the negative. That's right. So guys, pick up your pencil, and where I wrote a positive 2, you're going to write a negative 2. What is a negative 8x divided by a negative 2? A positive 4x. What is a negative 6 divided by a negative 2? A positive 3. Do you guys see how these match? Then you're done. Those are the factors. So look, here's how you write your final answer. The factors that match, that's one factor. So I'm going to recopy that 4x plus 3 once. The other factor is that stuff stuck out on the outside. So the other factor is x minus 2. I'm going to show it again. So 4x squared minus 5x minus 6. That's it in factored form. I'm going to show you again. There's no mistakes on that. I did not make a mistake. Please write that down. So guys, as you're looking at that and writing it on your paper, you need to be thinking about GCF. You need to analyze it. Is there a GCF? There's not. There's not a GCF. Then you would take it out and then start the process all over again. I'll show you one. Okay, there's not a GCF. Then what's the next thing we do? The X. Good job. Draw the X. Middle number goes at the top. Boom, 11. Bottom number is not negative 10. You got to multiply. What goes at the bottom? Negative 60. That's right. Okay, here we go. Numbers that multiply to make a 60. Well, 6 times 10. We just did that. 2 times 30. 3 times 20. What else makes a 60? 15 and 4. There's one more. Can you think of another one? 5 and what? Good job. 5 and 12. Guys, look at all these numbers. Is there any way that you can mess around with them where they could combine to make an 11? It's a puzzle. You got to find the missing piece. The 15 and the 4. That's right. So we're going to write 15 and 4 on the sideways. But one of them has to be negative. Which one has to be negative?
4.
Good.
Whenever you're rewriting it, like the 6x squared plus 15x minus 4x, does it have to be a specific way, like in E or?
You can write 6x squared plus 15x minus 4x, or you could write 6x squared minus 4x plus 15x.
So either way,
you'll always get the right answer. Yep, it doesn't matter. All right, So here we go. Remember, we're going to write the first term. Then we're going to write the sideways numbers with the x's. And then we break it into two groups, GCF done. Your job on this example is to chime in and ask any question if you get lost at any point. Guys, the first set, you're always going to be able to take out a letter. The first set, you're always going to be able to take out a letter. So what I've highlighted in yellow, I can take an X out, but I could take something else out. What else can I take out? Very good. 3x. So I'm going to write a 3x. I'm going to draw some parentheses, write the remainder. 6 divided by 3 is 2. There were 2 x's. I took an x out. There's 1 x left. 15 divided by 3 is a plus 5. There was an x there, but I took it out. Done. Now I got to do the same thing for the other piece. What can I take out of these two over here? Negative 2. Has to be negative because these are positive and those aren't. So let's write minus 2 right next to that. And then do the same thing all over again for that other set that I circled in pink or boxed in pink. So negative 4 divided by a negative 2 is a positive 2. This had an x. I didn't take it out, so I have to recopy the x with it. And then a negative 10 divided by a negative 2 is a positive 5. Do your parentheses match? Then that's like a straight 100 right now. You know you're on the right track when they match. All right. So remember, when they match, that's one factor. The other factor is when you just stick the other two pieces together. So 3x minus 2 is the other one.
Are there, like,
Our last one for today. This right here. Here we go.